This video will demonstrate how to download digital elevation models from the USGS website. I've already navigated to nedusgs.gov. The next step is go to Data, National Data Map. And because this spins and things take time, I'll be pausing the video throughout so that you don't have to wait as my data loads. The next step is to click here to go to the National Map Viewer and Download platform. You may see this pop up as it's loading. Next step I tell you to do is make your screen a little bit smaller. So we'll make this about literally 6 inches and this about 9 inches. That'll help when you download your data, especially for grabbing Tacoma. So I'm saying that's about 6. That could be about 9. Maybe I'll move this over a bit. No, it doesn't let me. So we'll leave it there. We have a few layers on the left. We also have overlays, selection, and cart. We also have standard, advanced, annotation. This tool, zoom in box, and this back to last extent are very helpful. And then over here there's some choices. Right now we're looking at the topo. We're definitely going to be using the zoom tool, and in this case we're going to select it and it turns orange just as it did. Although first I think I'm going to have to pan. So I'll go back to the hand tool and pan the map so that I can see Washington. Now I click on the zoom tool and I tell you to make a rectangle around Washington. So I click and drag around Washington. I'll now drag in around the Puget Sound. Tacoma is actually hidden by that 705 sign. I've still got the plus activated. I'll zoom into the Puget Sound and it zooms in. The next step is to grab Tacoma again. I'm going to go to about where the Big Gig Harbor label is and then down to include Spanaway and just, well, we'll include part of South Hill direction, the label. This is about where I want to be because I want all of Tacoma, which actually is drawn, you can kind of see it drawn on there, but this is what I'm looking for. And if you go back to your map, which I will do right now, notice the shape of Tacoma. That's the shape that I'm looking for. I need that shape on this map. From here, now that I know I'm in the right area, I'm going to click Download Data. And I get a bunch of options. And I'm going to click here to download by the current map extent. We are going to choose elevation. I click that box. And then next. I've select National Elevation Dataset 1 arc second, best available 1 arc second staged arc grid. That is what I'm looking for. Therefore I click next and it says adding selected products. From here I have what I'm looking for. I say check out. I get this little window, loading, export cart, and then I enter my email address. And place order. Your request has been received. Check your email. I then say OK. I've received my email. Here it is. I have 1 arc second, 1 of 1. That is very important. I need to have 1 of 1. I cannot have 2 items in here. It does not work. If you get 2 items, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, that means you downloaded too much. I click on the download link. It brings me to here. Your numbers may be different. I saved the file. In this case, of course, I'm going to navigate to my correct folder. I'm choosing to put this in my raw L8 for raw lab 8, and I have 4 minutes to wait. I'm going to pause while that's loading. The file is done downloading, and that's green. I'm navigating to my data folder, raw L8. I've extracted this file to this folder, and in this case I'm going to move it, the entire folder, after I rename it. So I'm going to rename it and just say raster. That'll work. And then take the raster and put it into the data folder. Now in my data folder, I don't have all of these files willy-nilly running around. They're just in a raster folder. Now that I've gotten the raster downloaded and extracted and in the right folder, I add data. I'm in my lab 8 and notice there's a little raster folder. I double click and there's the raster I want. Yours may be the same name, but that's the one you want. It'll be the only raster, and that's what it looks like. Click add, and if you get this question, yes, you do want to create pyramids. You notice it quickly went on the bottom, and then we get this geographic coordinate system warning, and this is in the lab where I say row. That means that the raster that we're about to add is in a geographic coordinate system, and it's not the same as the shapefiles. So that means we're going to have to project it. And we've already projected a raster previously, so I trust it. You can go ahead and fix that. Say close, and we've got our raster. It appears that the raster lines up perfectly with your data, but remember the map or ArcMap is projecting on the fly. And as always, when adding new data, I go to Properties, Clear, Apply, and it goes away. And now if I zoom to my raster layer, these layers are nowhere to be found. And that's what it's supposed to do. And again, that's how you download the data from the USGS, put it in a new folder, extract it, and add it to your map. Of course, the next step will have to be projecting.